life, so he took off and went somewhere else. But then he found out he really liked this one, and he came back. So now he's worked his way back to driver, and he's really a good person. He steps up when we need him to do right out of rank. He did several months just recently as riding as a lieutenant. While his lieutenant was out from work, he kind of filled in as a driver and the lieutenant all on the same thing. So does a great job. He's outstanding. He works well, takes care, and he's one of those that can think out of the box when need to be. While his lieutenant was out from work, he kind of filled in as a driver. This time, I'd like to recognize Jeremy Johnson. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Firefighter of the Year award. This young man came to the department in 2019, June. He wasn't here very long. He was supposed to go to the fire academy. He got called to active duty. He went for over almost 2 years in active duties in the military. He serves in the Marine. If I get that wrong, I think he was a Marine. No. Army. Yeah, don't let me mess you up. Served in the Army for those time, and he came back, and he's just an outstanding. We got him enrolled back in the fire academy. He got the most physical fit at the fire academy when he was there. He's probably the most physical fit in the fire department today. And if somebody wants to challenge him, he's already ready to go for that challenge. I usually tell him he needs to slow down. God only gives you so many heartbeats. You need to use them wisely. So, but he is a very active. He's very going. He came back to the fire department, got his 1001 and 2, finished the EMT program, and he's currently in the paramedic program at Northwest now. So he is working his way trying to catch up with Mr. Tudor over here. So on behalf of him, I'd like to recognize Dakota Rich, Firefighter of the Year. Thank you, sir. Thank you. My next one is Paramedic of the Year, EMS of the Year. They run a lot of calls, so they're always really, really, really busy. On behalf of this young man, he couldn't be here tonight, but he's got a great attitude. He's always at work. He's always ready to do whatever it takes. He serves with a smile every day. I don't know how you can see the stuff that they see every day and still have a grin on his face and just walks in and takes care of patients when at their worst needs to the needing of an ambulance. A lot of times it's very devastating, some of the stuff you're thrown against, but he always does it with great attitude. He's actually wanting to go to the fire academy. We started that process with him, and he had one runner-up. I think he is, did they go out? So he's out on the call. So his runner-up was Mr. Billy Carroll. So, but the winner of the Paramedic of the Year award goes to Neil Goshwald. But we got his award. I'll have to present it to him later. He couldn't be here tonight. And I was going to let Billy give it to him in the morning when they shift changed. But Billy couldn't be here. He's on the call right now. They just got called out. I think they're on a wreck at Goodman, right? From the Popeye. I have two more other people I would like to recognize. One of them couldn't be here tonight. He has to be out duck hunting. Somebody's got to do it, he said. But he is over in Arkansas duck hunting, so he's not going to be here tonight. But he has a 10-year award, and that's Billy White. We'll get that to him. He's had 10 years with the service here with the city of Horn Lake, and he's a driver on lieutenant on C shift. These boys move around too much. My next one is one that's been here 20 years. He started out as a firefighter, served as a driver, served as a lieutenant. Now he serves as a battalion chief. And I would like to really recognize him for all his hard work. He is the ringleader of everybody in this room tonight that's on duty. Battalion Chief Mueller. 20 years. You got 10 more to go. Okay, I think that's all we have. That's it, too, we're not here tonight. So I would like to thank everybody. Huh?
Chief, have somebody get a picture of all y'all look together.
Yeah. You got to use your phone. Yeah, like.
Let's give our fire department honorees a hand. Let's stand. And I was going a little fast just so trying to make sure they didn't get a call. Hope that they didn't get a call. But as you can see, some was honored, but they out on the call handling an emergency. So give our fire chief a hand also for his hard work. He's one of the most resourceful people you can find. He always know where to eat too. I'm gonna tell you that. He know the best places to go eat. All right. We thank our fire department. Now we're moving forward with planning. We'll start with case number 2025-155, plat revision of lot 40, Hoyt, Austin Lake subdivision, section A, Ward 6. Andrew.
Thank you. The applicant lives at Lot 40 of Hoyt Austin Lake Subdivision Section A, first revision, which contains the two addresses of 5981 Caroline Drive and 5512 Highway 301. The applicant wishes to split the lot in order for each house to exist on its own separate lot. Both houses are fully functional structures with completely separate water and sewer and have their own driveways with their own mailboxes. It's unknown to the applicant and to the city when the southern structure on the lot was built, and because it was annexed many years ago. We do not have records showing all the substantial changes made to the properties since we annexed those properties. Using DeSoto County GIS aerial imagery, there's evidence of something being built or already constructed in 1979, and then the imagery of 1980 and 85 are difficult to see for the property. So essentially, the houses are there. They've been there for many years, and they exist on the exact same lot. So the applicant is simply just wishing to draw a property line between the two structures. And so in preparation for that, a year or two ago, the applicant did come in and get a variance approved for any setback violations that may appear from the houses being close to each other. And so there are currently no setback violations on site. All of those variances have been approved. And on page 3, I have the actual plat, if anyone wants to look at the details of that. And then I did a screenshot of a close-up of that plat, yes, on that page. So if anyone wants to ask any questions about that, please let me know. So that is the case. It's pretty straightforward, but if anyone has any questions on the details, let me know.
All right, do any board members have any questions for Andrew?
Mayor.
Alderman Johnson.
Question. Mr. Andrew, so these are two separately owned houses?
I believe the applicant can answer that. I think it's all currently owned by the same,
Okay.
technically it's one lot owner, and there's 2 houses on that same lot, but they're different addresses, different mailboxes, different driveways, different everything.
Different owners? We don't know.
The same owner technically.
Gotcha, thank you.
All right, any more questions for Andrew? All right, can the property owner please come up? Or representation? Please state your name and address when you come up. All right, anybody have any questions for the applicant? Mr. Brandon? Alderwoman Johnson?
Yeah, on and on.
And I remember a few years ago, you came before the commissioner board also.
Yes, sir.
Because you have a family member that actually stays there, right?
Well, not right now, but he's buying it from me as long as all this goes through. It's my older brother, I take care of my older brother, and he's gonna buy that house from me, so.
Okay, so all we're doing is separating, giving the property line. You already have 2 addresses, right?
Yes, sir.
2 separate billings already?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, any more questions for the applicant? Can you give us the last name and address again?
Hamberlin, Hamberlin, and it's 5512 Highway 301. And then the other address is 5981 Caroline Drive.
All right, any more questions by the board? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, do I have a motion on case number 2025-155?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Armstrong,
I make a motion to approve case number 2025-155.
all right. Motion by Alderwoman Armstrong. Were you saying something else? Okay, all right, do we have a second? Okay. I think Langston won that one. All right. Any discussion? All right, roll call, Ms. Carter.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Langston.
Aye.
Alderwoman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Smith. Alderwoman Armstrong.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman McKinney.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, now we have case number 2025-161. It is a conditional use permit request for 7040 Highway 51 North in Ward 5. Andrew?
Thank you. This case is a request by Lincoln Hodges, a managing member of H&B Enterprises LLC, for a conditional use permit to operate a used car lot on a portion of the property containing the current address of 7040 Highway 51 North. The parcel that will contain this proposed land also contains 14 other addresses, so the planning department is suggesting that the applicant proposes a clearly defined area for the 7040 address, which they have done in their submitted site plan for this request. Their plan includes adding a sidewalk along the property line and adding raised curbs with landscaping areas around the newly defined 7040 address. So I have the aerial imagery and have the aerial imagery up on the screen. And the second image is the zoning layers. It's in C4 zoning. And then the third image is the flood layers. So much of this property much of the project area is in the floodway, with a small portion high enough to not even be in any flood layer. The applicant may at one point attempt to challenge the official flood layer designations in order to build a new structure for any new business willing to move to the site. However, until then, the applicant is wishing to continue the land use of used car sales and to keep the existing footprint of the 2 buildings so that they can improve the other aspects of the site while they figure out the flood layer designation. So the newly established boundaries of 7040, it will use the raised curb adjoining or containing landscaped areas or sidewalks. This proposal satisfies the requirement of landscaped islands, as there's no more than 9 parking spaces in a row without a landscaped island. However, it must be noted that our ordinance technically requires that all perpendicular parking spaces be 10 feet wide by 18 feet deep. And I have added that onto the list of conditions, just to make sure that it will be followed, even if it's on any drawings that we've received after this report and after this meeting. I'll make a note that after I submitted this report to the board, the applicant did have an updated site plan. So that new site plan did not make it to the board, but the new site plan actually has the Welcome to Horn Lake sign added into it. And so if anyone wants to see that, I could pass that around. But I would still really like for the board to read the motion as is on this report, even though the applicant has already made some modifications. That way, it just makes it better for record keeping when we go back and we could see that the Welcome to Horn Lake sign, the sidewalk, the parking spaces, everything is in the motion. So, jumping to the end, we have the letter of intent by the applicant addressing all the requirements. And then in conclusion, I would just like to say that the planning department is very excited for this opportunity to work with the property owner in improving this parcel. While there has been much discussion over the years on the effects of a used car dealership at such a central location at the city, this request for a conditional use permit, it does give the city a chance to improve the property for the benefit of the community, and the benefits of this approval will far outweigh any possible negative externalities. So, planning staff heavily recommends approval of this conditional use permit request, but only on the conditions that a 5-foot sidewalk is constructed along the property line, a 23-foot wide Welcome to Horn Lake brick monument sign is constructed behind the sidewalk. All the regular parking spaces are striped in accordance with our 10-foot by 18-foot required dimensions. The correct number of handicap spaces are provided and are striped in accordance with our 12.5 feet by 20 feet required dimensions, and that the current multi-tenant monument sign is removed and a new multi-tenant monument sign with the brick base is constructed in landscape green space as approved administratively with the sign permit from the planning department. And if anyone has any questions about those conditions, please let me know. But that concludes the presentation.
All right, do the board have any questions for Andrew? Alderman Bostic.
He's gonna put a new tenant sign up there. I guess I could ask him this, but in our ordinance, it all has to be uniform of the same color, right? We're not gonna have yellow at the top like we got now with the green and a...
Yeah, it's gonna go through, we make sure that it is within the same design overall, like within itself. And so there are some design guidelines for sign permit requests. One of the main concerns, however, was that it's being held up by wires, and that is a code, that is a violation of our sign ordinance. So technically the sign is out of regulation, and I don't know if it would be a good idea to remove the wires and have it be unstable. So our recommendation is to have that sign demolished and have the brand new multi-tenant monument sign be built within the raised landscaped area.
Also, how many cars is that gonna hold in that parking lot? I mean, before we had way too many. I was just curious how many is gonna, like I said,
I don't have the count right now, but what this proposal is going to do is literally give us designated parking spaces. And so all the cars that would be on the lot for sale would have to be in a parking space. So there can't just be a big collection of random cars out there.
All right, Alderman Bledsoe.
When you say used cars, you're talking about cars that run?
Yes.
Okay, 'cause I don't want any junk out there. I mean, it's to say that we don't want junk sitting there, got 3 tires on it and one gone. We want running cars, and that's in the text.
Well, I would imagine people would only buy a running car.
I just want to make sure that, I'm not for used cars, period, but we gotta have them somewhere, and at this location, it's a prime location for a nice restaurant or something, but to get that, you'd have to do a lot of engineer work, and it would cost a ton of money, and nobody's gonna put that kind of money at that corner. But, I just want to know that I'm not for used cars, thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Bledsoe. Alderman McKinney?
Yeah, I do have I guess an observation about that Horn Lake sign. Because where it's positioned, if you're going north on 51, you're pretty much heading to South Haven. And if you're going east on Goodman, you're heading out of Horn Lake. It's just an observation.
I've noticed that as well, but I just think it gives us the opportunity to have uniformity on all sides, and so, you know, it could just say, we could eventually make all the signs just say Horn Lake instead of Welcome to Horn Lake. I don't know if that would make it less confusing.
Thank you.
All right, speaking on Alderman Bledsoe's concern, also code, as Belinda, you can also let me know if I'm saying the same thing. The same things that's required for homes are also required there on our property too, right? Commercial property. As far as cars, 3 tires and engine hanging out. So yeah, code can enforce that this business also be in compliance with our code. All right, any more questions for Andrew?
And we could I don't know if it'll be overkill, but we could possibly add that as a condition and say every car has to be in running or within code and inside the parking spaces as well.
All right, will we need that with the code? Will we need a condition as long as it's in the code?
I mean, it'll already be required anyway, though.
Correct. All right, any more questions for Andrew? All right, can we get the representative? Come on up, state your name and address, please.
That cut up, sold to scrap metal just to get that unsightly thing out of there. And so it's taken some time, but we spent over $100,000 just correcting the parking lot, fixing the roofs, getting the heat and air working just to keep the tenants, because it is actually full. And I was kind of surprised it was full when I first saw it, but we're trying to improve that corner, because we know that was the worst part of it. That's, after everything else was said and done, that really was the worst part of it. There was the style of car that they had on there, the condition of the cars weren't that great. I know that they were probably $3,500 to $5,000 cars. And we have a new tenant that's lined up pending approval, by the mayor and board here tonight. He's going to have a much better style of car. It's going to be like $15,000 to $20,000 cars, and they will be kept in the parking spaces. So number one, there'll be much fewer cars there, and number two, it's going to be paved with landscaping and improvements there. So I think you're going to be pleased, and we'll get the sign up for the city, and I think everybody will be pleased when they see it once we get done with it. So it's one of those things, we're only limited by funds, or we would have probably done it before now, to be honest with you. But it's just, you generate X number of dollars down there, and it's, you know, it's hard to, you have to apportion it, but I had to get the place in just, livable condition, basically, before we went on to the corner. So when the tenants that were there, they vacated around the end of September. And so we've, you know, been trying to move forward with that right now, and also have a good engineer who's working on maybe getting the front part of it closest to the roads taken out of the flood zone. So in the future, we can maybe do something better with that. But right now, we're kind of limited because the old buildings are grandfathered in, and we're just gonna make those look as good as we can. We're gonna replace the mansard roofs, you know, in front there, just to make it look more attractive as you drive by, and do everything we can, you know, to improve the looks of it. So that's our plan, and it's gonna be consistent with what we've been doing so far, so.
Mr. Hodges, I want to thank you for the improvements that you all have made into that property. It does look a whole lot better. Like Alderman said, we wish we could get a nice steakhouse or something right there, but being in the flood zone has made it difficult to recruit somebody to come by. I done made some calls, but once they realize it's a flood zone, it's kind of hard to get people to come.
Well, Chick-fil-A was interested in it, believe it or not, but they, you know, part of it was in the floodway, and they, you know, that'll push them away. But we're gonna try to work, and I think that we have hopes of maybe getting it, no promises here, but we have hopes of getting that out of the floodway so we can get someplace like that there. So we're trying, and hopefully we'll meet with some success here, so.
Yeah, I heard we looking at probably getting it reassessed to see if it's still the same condition.
Right.
Yes, sir. Hey, all right, anybody have any questions for Mr. Hodges? Alderman Bledsoe?
Do you have any color picked out for your
For the old roof, the old mansard roof on the existing buildings, we're gonna submit, I mean, I know it's atrocious. I know that was one of the things that's on our agenda for this year, is to repaint that mansard roof around the two existing main buildings that are on the premises, and I think that'll really help. We're also thinking about maybe doing a color scheme, which we'll run by the mayor and board here before we do it, but, you know, maybe a color scheme to paint the bricks. But first of all, we're gonna pick a color, you know, for that mansard roof, so.
Andrew, they have to come back again before the commissioner board, right?
So if they want to do any physical changes to the building, they will have to submit drawings, and we would send them to the planning commission. And the planning commission does full authority for site plan reviews. But if the board can also at this meeting make those approvals, but I would not recommend that without drawings. So I would prefer them to get everything in drawings and then submit it to us, and then we send them to the planning commission.
Okay. All right, any more questions, Mr. Hodges? Alderman McKinney?
Yeah, I just another observation. And I did the planning meeting, I talked to you, and I was just asking about, I know you have somebody waiting to get there with the car lot and everything, but I was just looking forward to maybe, along with Enterprise, that car rental, they do also have a car sales addition or whatever to their brand. I mean, if you had the rental car and then the Enterprise car sale, they could bring some uniformity to that corner or whatever. But like I said, it's just an observation.
Well, it's a good idea. I mean, you know, they've got a perfect place to market them there, and the cars now, I think they're allowing more miles to be put on the cars before they actually sell them, you know, once they buy them as rental cars. And,
Yeah, and it
they'll be
wouldn't be
more,
that, yeah.
you know, similar to the ones that are gonna be sold on the corner, so.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be junker cars, so I know
Right.
it'd be nice cars. But like I said, just an observation.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any more questions, Mr. Hodges? All right, thank you, Mr. Hodges. This is public hearing, which I now declare open. We have a property located at 7040 Highway 51 North in Ward 5, which has requested a conditional use permit. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this request? Would any board member like to speak on this request? Is there anyone who would like to speak on this request? We'll give you 3 minutes. Is there anyone who want to speak? Is there anyone who want to speak? Is there anyone who want to speak? I declare this public hearing now closed. All right, board, do we have a motion?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Johnson?
I'd like to motion that we accept I'd like to motion for case number 2025-161 conditional use permit request for 7040 Highway 51 North in Ward 5 with the conditions: a 5-foot sidewalk, 23-foot Welcome to Horn Lake brick sign, regular parking spaces, 10-foot by 18-foot required, correct number of handicap spaces, the current monument removed, adding a new multi-tenant monument with a brick base, and that the cars are within code, also accepting all of the requirements outlined by the planning commission.
Did you state the amount of years?
For a period of 5 years.
All right, do we have a second?
Mayor, a second.
Second by Alderwoman Armstrong. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, Ms. Carter.
Alderman McKinney,
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe,
Yes.
Alderwoman Armstrong,
Aye.
Alderman Smith,
Aye.
Alderwoman Johnson,
Aye.
Alderman Langston, Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. All right, on to new business. We have Michael Little with the General Group doing a presentation and explanation about 2023 final audit. So we're just so thankful to our financial department for the hard work of trying to catch us up on audits, and it's good to see Michael face to face for a change instead of by email. Come on up, Michael, and just state your name and address.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Michael Little. Give my address. Is that what you said?
Don't worry about it. We know your company.
Okay. Well, everybody should have a copy of the audit in front of them. Once again, the city of Horn Lake did receive an unmodified opinion from the audit of the financial statements. That is the best possible outcome from an audit, so that is excellent. Quickly to go through a few things. Page 5 begins the auditor's report. And just one thing to point out here, the most important paragraph in this report is the second paragraph from the top, under opinion. And part of that first sentence reads, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects. And continues, but that's the unmodified aspect of the audit, which is excellent. The management discussion and analysis section is next and begins on page 9. This information is a good outline of the financial statements and reports some additional information. But for those of you that might not be very familiar with governmental financial statements, pages 11 and 12 have some great information to help explain that particular type of presentation. For example, on page 11, right under the heading Government-Wide Statements, it reads, the government-wide statements report information about the city as a whole using accounting methods similar to those used by private sector companies. And then on page 12, it summarizes the city's 2 types of fund financial statements. Under the governmental funds heading, most of the city's basic services are included in governmental funds, which focus on, number 1, how cash and other financial assets that can be readily converted to cash flow in and out, and 2, the balances left at year-end that are available for spending. And then under the proprietary funds heading, proprietary funds are for services for which the city charges customers a fee. Like the government-wide statements, these funds provide both long and short-term financial information. The utility fund is a proprietary fund. Next, the government-wide financial statements actually begun on page 19 with a statement of net position. And as mentioned earlier, this presentation includes all long and short-term financial information for the city. I just wanted to point out a couple things here. Cash was pretty steady from the prior year, went down about 800,000, so it's sitting at 25.3 million. But another point here, the section right before liabilities, deferred outflows of resources includes a line item, deferred outflows related to pensions. And for some of y'all that don't remember this, or if you're new on the board this year, this resulted from a new accounting standard back in 2015 intended to present more detail about PERS in each municipality's proportionate share of the unfunded pension liability. So this has had a significant impact on the city's financial statements. As you can see further down under liabilities, pension liability for the city is about $35 million at September 30th, 2023. And this is explained in a lot more detail in the notes to the financial statements. Now, really the point of this was just to make people aware of the unfunded pension liability. It's not anything that the city's gonna have to pay, but it's just a required accounting adjustment that has to be made. During the year, the city reduced its total debt by about $840,000. And so next, moving on to page 20, is the government-wide statement of activities. I'm just going to summarize this quickly for those of y'all that aren't real familiar with this format. It does a good job of summarizing the results of the city's operation or the change in net position for the year. If you look at the first column from the far left under the heading expenses, the city's total primary government expenses were about $34 million for 2023. As you move to the right, there are different revenue columns under the heading program revenues, such as fines and charges for services, or operating and capital grants and contributions. Those program revenues total to about $16.1 million. So if you continue to the far right column and down to the middle of the page, you'll see the total or the net total of the city's expenses and program revenues, which is a negative of about $18 million. Continuing further down the far right column, you will see the general revenues come into play that offset that negative net amount. These revenues consist of property taxes, sales taxes, franchise taxes, etc., and total to about $19.8 million. So when you factor in those revenues, the negative net amount of about $18 million now becomes a positive or an increase of about $1.8 million in the city's net position for the year. Moving on, just to quickly go through the rest, the governmental funds start on page 21. And then, like I mentioned, the proprietary funds start on page 25. So those are broken out separately. The notes to the financial statements begin on page 30 and have some pretty good information in the notes there. Just for example, on pages 40 and 41 are the notes for the capital assets and show the activity for the year, such as all the capital asset purchases and disposals and the ending balances. On page 42, that summarizes the long-term debt of the city. And that provides some additional details, such as page 44, you can see all the upcoming or the future principal and interest payments for the city. And then there's a lot of information about the pension liability that I mentioned, and that starts on page 45. There's several pages of additional information on that pension liability. And then kind of skipping forward to the supplementary information you have in that section, that starts on page 53, but you have some general fund budget information and some even additional pension liability information. And this time you'll see some historical amounts there. You can look back and see how that pension liability has changed over the last several years. Eventually that report will have 10 years of data. I think it has about 7 this year. The supplementary information, so you have your required supplementary information, there's a section for supplementary information, includes the schedule of federal expenditures, and that's on page 60. And that is required when the city has more than $750,000 in federal expenditures. The reports on compliance and internal control begin on page 64 and cover the single audit and state law compliance. The only thing we noted, and this has been on the audit the last couple of years, is the city just needs to keep improving tagging all assets, all new assets that come in. I think there's been some good momentum for that, but just keep it up and make sure all the city's assets that can be tagged are tagged and accounted for on a single list. And that is mentioned on page 70. But overall, it's a very solid report, and it's great to meet Tanya and Dora and the mayor and get to know them, and we really look forward to working with them on the 24 audit, and the goal is to get that one done hopefully by late spring or so, and then get the 25 audit done by September, and then the city will be fully caught up, and I know y'all are ready for that.
Yes, yes. Michael, we want to thank you and your company for really working hard with our new bookkeeper, Dora, who's doing a fantastic job, but most of all, under Ms. Carter and her leadership in our finance department. We just really thank you all. Y'all send a lot of emails. I try to read them and keep up with them. But we thank you for what you're doing. Ms. Carter, would you like to add anything to this?
Absolutely. Michael, we just want to thank you for your patience. You know, we came in blindsided and not really knowing and putting our hands on anything. So we thank you for being patient with us and kind of guiding us in the direction from what may have been in the past or what you could recollect from the past, and just kind of helping us get foresight on what
Sure
all
thing,
we should be looking for, and preparing, kind of getting ahead of you for 24 so we know what you're looking for. So we're excited about closing that out fairly quickly and getting from you what we need.
Sure thing, yes.
We're just
I
ready for
appreciate it.
25.
And Mike, I'm getting used to the government audits. Being on 2023 scared me to death, because if that would have happened in the retail world, we'd be all fired.
Oh, yeah.
So we just thank you all again. And board, do y'all have any questions for Mr. Michael? Board, any questions? All right.
Thank you all so much, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michael.
And this is Monica Cooper, by the way, I didn't mention her, but she's one of the partners at our firm.
We want to thank you for being here also, Ms. Monica. Thank you all for all your hard work on our city finances. We look forward to hopefully having a whole another year done by September, right?
That's right. We're actually 24.
Spring,
hopefully by
spring.
the-
Okay.
yes,
Oh, Lord,
and
yes.
25 by September.
Yeah, okay. Let me get it written down now. All right. It's on the record now. It's on the record.
That's right.
It's on the record. All
Thank you,
right.
Mayor. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Michael. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Safe travels home.
Oh, y'all ready to make a motion? Oh, okay, that's what I was getting to next. All right, here we go. I entertain a motion to accept the resolution of the audit.
Mayor, I happily make that motion for 2023 audit, since this was promised a long time ago. And I know the aldermen that were here going through that are very happy, and the new team here looks like we're on the right track with spring in 24 and then 25. So I'm happily approve this audit for 2023.
Thank you, Alderman Bostic. Second by Alderman Bledsoe. Any discussion? All right, roll call, Ms. Carter.
Alderman Bostic.
Aye.
Alderman Langston. Alderwoman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Smith. Alderwoman Armstrong.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Aye.
Alderman McKinney.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, do we have any citizen remarks for tonight? All right, none turned in. Okay, we're gonna move on to mayor and alderman correspondence. I got it right this time. I would like to start off by thanking our emergency services. I can't stop thanking them enough. Public Works, our 911 operators, police, and fire. All those who will be working probably this weekend during this winter weather advisory. We just want to thank you all We just ask all the citizens to be careful, don't be on the road if you don't have to, just to help us out a little bit. We just appreciate you all and your work that you're gonna be doing this weekend. We thank Wayne for being in contact with MDOT. We do expect them to, I believe he'll probably talk more about it, but MDOT said they will get out and make sure Goodman was taken care of. But we're ready on standby to make sure that we pre-ice our, pre-salt, whatever, pre-work on the roads, and also be ready to just put salt on our roads also. So be patient with the city workers this coming up weekend. I just want to go a few. I did promise y'all that I go a few accomplishments. I won't be long for the first 6 months. I want to start off by thanking this board and the administration for all your hard work. You just seen, you just saw the evidence of the hard work with the audit already. So we're just thankful that we already have 1 year knocked out. And remember, that come behind also catching up the bank reconciliations. So, which we had to do that first to even get to that. So going back to 2023 and started to do bank reconciliation, reconciling the banks. That was a tough job for our finance team, but that's a lot of hard work in 6 months, and I think they should get a round of applause for what they have done. And I want to remind everyone, when I first got in, I was scared to sign a payroll check because if you ain't doing no bank reconciliation, my dad taught me that you ought to balance out your checkbook at the end of the month, and I want to know what's in the account. So, but thank God we didn't have nothing bounce. So we're thankful to our finance team. Also, just a few things that this board has accomplished, and administration prevented wasteful spending of over $4 million on a LED light program that did not provide necessary repairs and maintenance for a $40,000 LED light program by our current provider, ensuring adequate repairs and maintenance moving forward. That's one accomplishment. I have a lot of them. I can't do all of them to give you the main ones. The city of Horn Lake has achieved significant financial savings and strengthened fiscal accountability. Our administration has saved the city more than $300,000 by eliminating multiple underutilized or unused contracts, including cancellation of oracles and laserfish contracts. Additionally, our administration has implemented enhanced oversight measures for municipal credit cards and purchasing accounts, such as Amazon, to ensure responsible spending and greater transparency in the city financial operations. Also, not too long ago, we did, in spite of the rumors on social media, we did reduce our millage rate by 5 mills to reduce the burden on property owners. And remember, you can look at percentages, but percentages don't tell the true story of what a mill is actually worth. Olive Branch has over $1 million worth of mill. South Haven is close to $1 million right now, $982,000 per mill. But Horn Lake is $317,000, $586 per mill. So when you look at that, you can't cut mills down to a percentage when you start cutting your city services, and that's what we fought not to do. But we were required to at least do that 5 mills. So we did go to 5, and I think we're in a good position at this point. All right, we also passed a moratorium. I think it was led by, motion was made by Alderman Armstrong that temporarily prevented the development of gas station, car washes, liquor stores, and vape shops until a study is completed and determine oversaturation and protect our limited commercial land use. So we just thank this board for believing in that which is a vision we had coming into office, that we want to gain control of our commercial space. We initiated and led quarterly meetings with our faith leaders to foster collaboration, build trust, and build cultural and social gaps within the community, strengthening interfaith dialogue and aligning efforts in addressing shared community challenges. And we want to thank all our departments who have met with the faith leaders, such as police, or I think all of you all pretty much have met with them and shown them ways that the faith community can assist us with serving people. But most of all, hands-on and daily activities and work in City Hall fostering a sense of community, raising morale, and boosting citizen confidence by being open and present, which is very important to me that people come to work and they enjoy doing what they do, that they can go home and be with their families in peace. I just believe wholeheartedly that when people are struggling and suffering at home and at work, everybody suffers. So we do believe in making sure we have a great environment and we don't tolerate bullying. We don't tolerate not working and doing your job. But however, we still want to make sure we produce a great environment here at City Hall. So just give all our accomplishments a hand right quick. Give this board a hand. Give our administration a hand. We're just so thankful for just these things. And there's so many more. I probably forgot a lot of them. But I'm sure they could tell you some more. But we'll just give you that in the next meeting. We've been here long enough. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So, amen. The church say amen. All right. Alderman Bostic.
I'm good, Mayor.
Alderman Langston.
Y'all be safe this upcoming weekend. These big storms that are gonna come through, if it's the best case scenario, it's gonna be a lot of ice. If there's a lot worse, it could be. So y'all be safe, go ahead and have your stuff ready to go. I wanna say for the fire chief, make sure we have space heaters to keep them clear up and they're not doing anything crazy. So y'all just take care and be safe this weekend.
Alderman Johnson.
No, sir.
Alderman Smith. Amen. Alderwoman Armstrong.
I have nothing, Mayor.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Main thing is check on everybody that's weather's coming in. They're predicting a foot of snow and mixed with ice and stuff. It don't take a whole lot for the old people to get, in bad shape. So check on them and be sure to fill your tank with gas. If you go to the store, you're gonna be a while, so thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alderman. Alderman McKinney.
I don't have anything, Mayor.
All right. Now we'll do department head correspondence. Chief Puller.
No, sir, Mayor.
All right. Belinda.
No, sir.
All right. Code, let them know Code's still working and Code's still gonna be out in bad weather, so keep it together. All right, Wayne?
Yes, I have something to say. Like you said, man, bad weather coming in. I can be safe, but I'm gonna be cold. Anyway, we got the salt dogs ready, the 2 snow plows, we got the chainsaws ready, full of gas, we got everything ready. And MDOT gonna come out. They said they're gonna be out on the road. They keeping up with the weather too. So Brad Chase ain't gonna be out. No, they on top of everything. So I gave you a number and everything.
All right. But so the other salt dog was fixed?
We got it fixed.
The new mechanic
We
fixed?
got it fixed.
That's what I'm talking about.
So we ready.
All right, all right.
So that'll be it.
Chief Linville. Just recently celebrated his birthday. Give him a hand.
Big milestone. Big milestone. All I can say is for all the citizens and everybody, if you can, like Alderman Bledsoe said, space heaters, South Haven had 2 fatalities this morning. They may have a third. I don't know how she's turned out, but we can pray for those families. And it is that time of year. A lot of people doing a lot of different things to stay warm, and we let our guard down. So if you've got anybody you know that has any kind of issue and you feel like they need some assistance, if we can help them, I'll do whatever we can. We've tried to say if somebody needs a smoke detector, please reach out to the fire department. We put up a few last week, but we don't really have the rights to come in somebody's house and do anything, but we'll help them. If we get that opportunity, we'll come in and put them up. But we have to know, or we have to be called, or at least send out that message to us. Or if they get a hold of you, you're more than welcome to get the information, get it to us, and we'll try to get it taken care of as quick as possible. So again, it's just trying to let everybody be safe and be careful with space heaters, fireplaces, even the wood stoves and stuff like that. Everything gets really out of whack when it gets this kind of cold weather. And I am praying for no ice.
Amen. Amen. All right, Drew Coleman.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board. I don't have anything tonight, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Vince is not up here with us, but his protege is. We know Mr. Vince is 1 foot in retirement. I'm not sure he's 1 foot out. Took both of them in now? All right, he's fully retired. Give him a hand, y'all. Mr. Vince, how many years have you served Horn Lake altogether?
Since 2008.
So, man, since 2008, how many years is that? 19 years of serving us with engineer service. So give him another hand. We just thank you, Mr. Vincent. I sort of miss you at the MML conference, but you got a great guy to fill those shoes. I believe Philip gonna do a great job. It's almost like you got a son up there. So we thank you for all that you've done, and we're looking forward. Philip, you got anything? It's your first board meeting, man. You're supposed to say something.
First of all, I just want to.
Is it on? There it goes on.
First of all, I'll get used to the mic. I just want to thank the mayor, the board, for having trust in Neil Schaefer and myself to serve the city. You touched on Mr. Vince Malavassi's service to the city. He's been tremendously dedicated to the city. It's always been a point of pride for him to serve the city. He's always eager to take on any problem and assist the city however he can. And that's something I don't take lightly, and I take note of, and I look forward to serving y'all as well, along with the team that we have at Neil Schaefer. It's not just me, it's a whole team of us, and we are happy to serve, and thank you. Trust us.
Thank you. Well, welcome on board. I guess you've been on board for a while. It ain't like you're just jumping on. So, we're glad to have you, Philip. Thank you so much. We're going to get to your question. Let me go and close them out, then we can get any questions from the board. We'll give you the opportunity. All right, Alexis. All right, Andrew. Nothing to report.
No, sir.
All right, do any board members have any questions for the directors? Alderman Armstrong?
I have a question for Chief Pullen. I was looking at your report in the miscellaneous mail that we received, and there's over 14 to 15 incidences that have occurred over there in the Horn near Home Depot, Target, and all of that. Is that substation being used? I mean, what's with that?
No, ma'am, we don't use the substation for any, really, it's the roof has fallen in on it. It's just not safe for us to use the substation. That's just such a concentrated area. So I'm not certain if is it shopliftings or, there could have been, the report I send includes, accidents, disturbances at the hotels, restaurants. It could be really anything in that general area. So, just being such a concentrated area, it's hard to say what those incidents really are. We have officers that are assigned to just the east side of the city, so their presence helps. Again, that's just such a concentrated area coming right off the interstate.
My question was just whether or not the substation was being used, what's it there for, what's the purpose? And most of the items that I looked at, they were all shoplifting in that area, so I just didn't know, while we have that substation there, what is it currently being used for? What is it currently being used for?
So really nothing. One of the last surplus lists that I had approved, we got rid of a lot of just the stuff that's in that building. We can't, I mean, really the city can't afford to put things in it because it's not manned constantly. So to run internet, to put computers, to put things up there would just be an additional cost for us. At one point, we did have our bike gear, stuff like that for a bike unit. Now we just don't have the manpower for the bike unit. So, and it would be rather unsafe for them to operate out of it. So it's really, there's not much use for it. So until we put much more money into it, it wouldn't be feasible for the city to use it for really much more than just some form of presence that's up there. But most people that are familiar with the city, they know that there's just, other than just coming and going from the area, officers aren't stationed at that substation.
Thank you.
Well, it's public notice now. But anyway, I remember when they built it, I was actually working at that Kroger, managed one of the managers there, and I remember the guys riding around with the yellow jackets on and bikes. So, thank you, Chief, for all you all do. We appreciate all that you all do. All right, any more questions? Alderman Bledsoe.
Okay, if we're not using that building, we need to get away from that, because it could be a liability. Somebody might go in there and get hurt. If we're not using it, don't we need to get rid of it?
Well, we can discuss it, but some of the businesses might like the fact that it's there, even when it's a deterrent, especially for people that still don't know. That we don't use it. All right, and you can always park a car there. I mean, God, just telling all the secrets now. All right. We finished with this conversation. Keep that off the record. All right. Anybody else? Any questions for our directors? All right. I didn't put my stuff up, Lord. Next we have anything from our city attorney?
Yes, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. So tonight I have a request for a resolution that I would request that the board approve. It's really for the hotel motel tax. It needs to be renewed. In the resolution, I think you have a copy of it in your packets. So, and I'm asking, are there any questions regarding it? I think everyone's familiar with it, so.
Basically just reinstating the hotel motel tax. There's a deadline on it in July, but our senators called yesterday, and they want it today, tomorrow. So it's a good thing we had a meeting tonight. So if we can go ahead and get that passed, they'll be going and fighting and lobbying for us to continue to get that. All right. What'd I do this time? Y'all looking at me. All right. Can we get a motion?
Mayor.
Alderman Langston.
Made the motion to approve resolution number 01-01-26. Resolution requesting the Mississippi State Legislature amend Senate Bill number 2837.
All right, do we have a second? Second. Second by McKinney. Any discussion? All right, roll call, please, Ms. Carter.
Alderman McKinney.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Aye.
Alderwoman Armstrong.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderwoman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Langston.
Aye.
Alderman Bostick.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you all so much. There's no executive session, so this is one of my favorite parts. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, I make that motion to adjourn this evening.
Motion by Alderman Johnson,
Mayor, I second.
second by Alderwoman Johnson, and second by Alderwoman Armstrong. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Carter.
Alderman Bostick.
Aye.
Alderman Langston.
Aye.
Alderwoman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Smith.
Aye.
Alderwoman Armstrong.
Aye.
Alderman Bledsoe.
Aye.
Alderman McKinney.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously at 7:13 p.m. Y'all dismissed.